Leaders hope this communique will lead to a renewed global economic boom. CCTV's Roee Ruttenberg joins us live in our Washington newsroom. Roee.
Well, Elaine, the joint agreement establishes several new initiatives from innovation to more inclusive development. And while it's been criticized by some for being heavy on ideas and thin on detail, G20 participants are certain it sets the right tone for moving ahead. The G20 final communique starts off by recognizing first and foremost that these are difficult times. Sluggish economic recovery in large parts of the world, potential volatility in financial markets, fluctuations in commodity prices, and slow productivity and employment growth in some countries. There's also the geopolitical reality, an increase in the flow of refugees, and a rise in global terrorism and conflicts. And it's against this backdrop that the G20 members met and committed themselves to boosting trade, to easing barriers that often get in the way of that trade, to fighting against corrupt individuals, and to ensuring that more people are included in global growth. As expected, the communique condemns protectionism. It calls for cooperation in the crackdown on tax evasion, which costs rich members billions in revenues. But for the first time, with China as host, it referenced, quote, the new industrial revolution and the economic potential of the digital age, and specifically stressed the need to include more women, youth, and disadvantaged groups in the process, not just for the sake of inclusion, but as a solution for growth. There was also movement on some sticky issues, such as steel production, or more specifically, overproduction. In the communique, G20 members, China included, recognized that excess capacity in steel, and indeed other industries, was, quote, a global issue which requires collective responses. They also noted that government subsidies in various industries can distort markets and contribute to capacity issues. In terms of steel, the communique announced the creation of a global forum to address those capacity issues, starting with a report due next year. For China, often accused of overproducing, that could be seen as a bit of a give. There's also take, specifically a big issue for Beijing, the fight against corruption. The final communique included the creation of a mechanism for greater cooperation between G20 members in the search for wanted fugitives and their assets. In the past, China has run into obstacles as it went after former officials who fled to places like the U.S. This would be a natural extension of China's anti-corruption campaign, and one that effectively got bigger wings through this communique. Elaine?
All right, Roee Ruttenberg in our Washington newsroom.